welcome to this deep dive
Yeah.
into a world where
Into a world where angels and planets and
colors whisper secrets.
Yeah.
Historical figures are keys to unlocking hidden knowledge.
Absolutely.
Our guidebook for this journey is
The complete magician's tables.
Oh,
yes.
okay. So
It's not your average encyclopedia, right? Instead of just like cold hard facts.
Yeah.
You get tables that are kind of like overflowing with connections across all these different systems. Kabbalah, astrology, alchemy, tarot, I Ching,
whoa.
all kinds of really cool traditions.
Okay, now you've piqued my interest.
Good.
How does it all work?
Oh,
What are these tables actually connecting?
like imagine a giant web
Okay.
and it's stretched across like the entire universe.
Okay.
And each thread is like a symbol, a concept, an element, and where those threads intersect, that's where the magic happens.
Interesting.
That's what we're talking about here.
Okay, so we're talking angels, planets, herbs, colors.
Yeah, all those things and then some.
Historical figures.
Yes.
Even perfumes.
Yeah.
Perfumes. Now, that's something you don't see in your everyday encyclopedia.
No, you don't.
So is the idea that there's some sort of secret relationship between, say,
Yeah.
lavender
Okay.
and the planet Jupiter?
Exactly.
Right.
It's based on this idea of correspondence, this belief that everything in the universe is like interconnected in a really meaningful way.
Okay.
James Wasserman.
Yeah.
He's a real expert in this area.
Yeah.
And he puts it this way. He says, the theory of correspondence
Sorry.
recognizes an implicit interdependence of all things with all other things.
So it's like this giant cosmic puzzle where each symbol, each piece fits together to reveal this bigger picture.
Yeah, exactly.
But 777 tables, that's a lot of pieces.
That's a lot of pieces.
Where do you even begin to put something like that together?
So the author of this book, Stephen Skinner, he's really drawing on a rich history here.
Okay.
He's weaving together threads from ancient grimoires, Kabbalah, astrology, alchemy, tarot, I Ching, you name it.
Oh, wow.
Even modern magical orders like the Golden Dawn.
Oh, you mentioned the Golden Dawn.
Yeah.
Can you remind us what that is and why it's relevant here?
So the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn was this secret society that was devoted to the study and practice of magic and esotericism back in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. And they were known for having this really elaborate system of correspondences, drawing heavily on Kabbalah and tarot and other traditions. And Skinner's book actually builds on a lot of their work.
Oh, wow.
Particularly a text called Liber 777 by the infamous Aleister Crowley.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm starting to see how the Complete Magician's Tables fits into this lineage of magical thinking.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, 777 tables sounds a bit daunting.
It's a big book. It's a big book. But, you don't have to be like a hardcore occultist to find value in it.
Okay.
It's kind of like a grand buffet of symbolism. You can sample a bit of everything.
Right.
Or you can dive deep into whatever like really resonates with you.
Okay, so how is this feast of knowledge organized? I'm picturing a massive leather-bound tome with tiny, indecipherable script.
It's actually quite user-friendly.
Oh, okay.
Skinner has divided the book into sections based on these themes.
Okay.
So, magic, religion and mysticism, symbolism.
Okay.
There's even a whole section on history.
Oh, wow.
Kind of tracing the origins of some of these ideas.
Okay. So you might expect a book on magic to solely focus on, like, spells and rituals.
Yeah.
But there's a whole section on, like, historical figures.
Yes.
And their symbolic connections.
Exactly.
Okay, that's really intriguing.
Yeah.
What kinds of figures are we talking about?
Well, you'll find everyone from ancient philosophers and alchemists, Renaissance artists, even modern-day thinkers.
Wow.
The idea is that these figures embody certain archetypes or principles that can be understood through this lens of correspondence.
Okay, I'm officially hooked.
Good.
But I have to ask.
Yeah.
What kinds of connections are we actually talking about here?
Yeah.
Can we peek inside some of these tables and see what kind of magic they hold?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good.
Let's take the Kabbalistic Tree of Life as an example.
Okay.
There's a table connecting each of the 22 paths on the Tree of Life with Hebrew letters, planets, elements, zodiac signs, even tarot cards and colors.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of like a symbolic Rosetta Stone.
Wait, so you're telling me that there's a table that's saying that my zodiac sign is connected to a specific tarot card?
Yeah.
And a color? And all of this is somehow related to the tree of life.
Yeah, that's just one example.
Oh, wow.
There's a table listing angels from all these different sources, outlining their attributes and their roles in these different magical systems.
Their connection to specific planets and times of day.
Really?
There's a table outlining the 7 heavens in Islamic tradition.
Okay.
Complete with like really detailed descriptions of paradise.
That's incredible. I've always been fascinated by angels and different concepts of heaven.
Yeah.
So I'm already seeing how this book could provide this like fascinating cross-cultural perspective.
Absolutely.
And that's just scratching the surface.
Yeah.
So there are tables connecting plants to emotions, perfumes to astrological signs, even historical events to specific cards in the tarot.
Yeah.
It's truly a labyrinth of interconnectedness.
It really is.
Okay, color me intrigued.
Okay.
777 tables, though.
Right. No.
That's a lot of information.
Yeah.
How would someone even begin to navigate this book?
Right.
Where's the starting point?
Well, Skinner provides like a roadmap of sorts. There's a really detailed introduction that explains the basic principles of correspondence.
And how to actually use the tables effectively.
Okay.
And he also has this subject listing of tables.
Oh, cool.
So you can quickly find what you're looking for.
That's helpful.
Yeah.
But even with a roadmap, 777 tables.
I know, it's a lot.
Still feels like this vast and mysterious forest.
Yeah.
I'm almost afraid of getting lost.
I think that's part of the fun.
Yep.
Think of it as an adventure.
Yeah.
Not a chore. You know, you don't need to understand everything all at once.
Right.
Just start with something that sparks your curiosity.
Okay.
You know, like a symbol you've always been drawn to.
Okay.
Or a question you've been pondering.
I like that.
Yeah.
So it's about the journey,
exactly.
not the destination.
Yeah.
Speaking of journeys, you mentioned this concept of a chain of correspondences earlier.
Yeah.
Can you unpack that a little more?
Yeah.
I'm having a little trouble visualizing how these connections actually work in practice.
Yeah. So the chain of correspondences, right? It's not just about isolated pairings. It's about how those connections actually link together to form these really intricate pathways of meaning.
Okay. I'm intrigued, but I need a visual.
Okay.
Can you give us an example of one of these chains in action?
Okay, let's say we start with the color green.
Okay.
According to the tables, green is associated with the planet Venus.
Okay.
Venus, in turn, is linked to the goddess Aphrodite.
Okay.
From Greek mythology.
Uh-huh.
Aphrodite is connected to the metal copper, copper to the emerald, emerald to certain healing properties.
Wow.
And so on. So you see how it creates this chain, this interconnected symbolism, each element kind of leading to the next.
So you're saying that by starting with just one element, like the color green, you could potentially unravel this whole tapestry of meaning across all these different systems of thought, mythology, astrology, even alchemy.
It's all connected.
This is blowing my mind a little bit.
Yeah. Good.
It really makes you wonder if there's some sort of underlying order to the universe.
Yeah.
This hidden language of symbols that's kind of connecting everything.
Right.
Do you think that's what Skinner is getting at with this book?
That's a question that has fascinated philosophers and occultists for centuries.
Yeah.
And while Skinner doesn't claim to have like all the answers, the Complete Magician's Tables definitely offers a really unique tool for exploring these connections and potentially unlocking a deeper understanding of the universe and our place within it.
It's fascinating to think that these correspondences, these symbolic links, might have practical applications beyond just intellectual curiosity.
Absolutely.
Does Skinner address how someone might actually use this information?
He does.
Okay, is it purely for meditation and contemplation?
It can be.
Or are there more active ways to engage with these concepts?
Skinner really delves into various applications. You know, these tables can be used for meditation.
They can be used for understanding dream symbolism.
Wow.
Even enhancing ritual work.
Ritual work, okay.
If that's something you're interested in.
What kind of rituals are we talking about?
It really depends on the individual's goals.
Okay.
And their chosen tradition. You know, some people might use these correspondences to create talismans. Or amulets that are charged with specific energies. Others might use them to enhance their connection to certain deities or spiritual forces. And there are even those who believe that these correspondences can be used to influence events in the material world.
Hold on. Influence of events in the material world?
Yeah.
Are we talking about like spell casting here?
Some traditions within Western occultism definitely believe in the possibility of using symbols and rituals to influence reality. But, it's important to approach these ideas with a lot of caution and respect.
Right.
There's a lot of debate, even within magical circles,
about the ethics and efficacy of these kinds of practices.
That's a good point. It's easy to get carried away by the allure of magic.
Right.
And forget that there might be unintended consequences.
Yeah.
It's reminding of something we discussed earlier. The sheer volume of information in these tables.
Yeah.
With so many different sources and traditions represented.
Right.
Are there ever any contradictions or conflicting viewpoints?
That's a good question. And yeah, Skinner actually acknowledges that potential for contradiction. He emphasizes that this book isn't meant to be taken as like a definitive absolute truth. It's more of a springboard for exploration and personal interpretation.
So it's more about empowering readers to do their own research.
Exactly.
To think critically about these connections.
Yes.
Rather than just blindly accepting them as dogma.
Yeah. He's providing a framework.
Okay.
But it's up to the individual to really explore it and make meaning for themselves. He even cautions readers against taking any of these correspondences as like fixed or absolute, because different traditions may have different interpretations of the same symbols.
That's a crucial point, especially in a field like occultism.
Right.
Where there's so much room for personal interpretation.
Exactly.
And subjective experience.
Yeah.
It sounds like Skinner is encouraging a more nuanced and balanced approach
to
this material, recognizing that the ultimate meaning lies in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. He's offering a set of possibilities, not a set of pronouncements.
Right.
And I think that open-ended approach is what makes the Complete Magician's Tables such a compelling and thought-provoking work.
Speaking of thought-provoking,
I'm
curious about something you mentioned earlier. The possibility of using these correspondences to create talismans or amulets.
Right.
How would that actually work?
So it can be as simple or as elaborate as the practitioner chooses. Some talismans might be crafted from specific materials that are chosen for their symbolic associations. Like you might use a piece of silver for lunar energy or a ruby for vitality. And these materials might then be engraved with symbols that correspond to the desired outcome. Like a specific planetary sigil for attracting prosperity or a Hebrew letter for enhancing communication.
So it's about layering these different correspondences, almost like building a symbolic circuit board.
That's a great analogy.
To create an object that's imbued with specific energies or intentions.
Exactly.
I'm picturing an alchemist in their workshop.
Yeah.
Surrounded by charts and tables.
Right.
Meticulously crafting a talisman.
Yeah.
Under the light of a full moon.
Yeah, it's very mystical and intriguing.
But I have to ask, does it actually work?
Right.
Is there any evidence to suggest that these objects actually have power?
That's the question that's been debated for centuries. Skeptics will argue it's all placebo effect, just the power of suggestion. But those who practice magic will tell you that there are real, tangible results that can be achieved through the skillful use of symbolism and ritual.
So it comes down to a matter of belief.
To some extent, yes.
Whether or not you're open to the possibility of these subtle energies influencing reality.
But even if you approach it from a purely psychological perspective, there's something undeniably powerful about engaging with these ancient symbols and archetypes. They tap into something deep within our collective unconscious, something that resonates with us on this really profound level.
I could definitely see that even if you don't believe in magic, in a literal sense, there's something undeniably fascinating about exploring these connections between symbols, ideas, even historical figures.
Absolutely.
It's like piecing together a hidden history of the human imagination.
Yeah.
It feels like we're kind of uncovering this this secret language that whispers through the ages and connects us to something much larger than ourselves. And that kind of brings me back to something you said earlier. The idea that these correspondences, these symbolic links, could have practical applications beyond just intellectual curiosity.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not just about deciphering ancient texts or marveling at the interconnectedness of the cosmos. These tables can actually be tools for self-discovery, for personal growth.
Okay, now you're speaking my language.
Oh, okay.
Tell me more about how these tables could be used for personal growth.
So imagine you're feeling stuck
in
a rut, lacking direction or purpose. You could consult the tables for insights that relate to your astrological sign or your birth date or even your name. And by exploring the corresponding symbols and their traditional meanings, you might uncover hidden talents or patterns in your life that you hadn't really noticed before.
So it's kind of like a form of symbolic introspection.
Yeah.
Using these correspondences as a mirror.
Right.
To reflect back on your own strengths and weaknesses.
Exactly.
Your hidden desires and motivations.
It's about recognizing the archetypes and the patterns that are at play in your life. And understanding how to work with them more consciously.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like a form of divination.
Yeah.
Using these tables to gain a deeper understanding of yourself and your path in life.
A lot of people do use these tables as a form of divination, particularly in conjunction with tools like the tarot or the I Ching.
Right.
But even if you're not into divination, the simple act of exploring these correspondences can be incredibly revealing.
Wow.
It's like having a conversation with your own subconscious, using this language of symbols to unlock hidden wisdom.
It all kind of ties back so beautifully to that quote we mentioned earlier. The theory of correspondence recognizes an implicit interdependence of all things with all other things.
Right.
If we can understand those connections, those correspondences, maybe we can understand ourselves and our place in the universe on a much deeper level.
Exactly. And that's what makes the Complete Magician's Tables such a powerful and potentially transformative tool. It's not just like a book of facts and figures. It's an invitation to a journey of self-discovery, a quest for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic and disconnected.
I have to admit there's a part of me that's still wondering.
Oh, yeah.
What if these tables really do hold the key to unlocking this deeper understanding of the universe?
Right.
This hidden dimension of reality that most people never even glimpse.
That's the beauty of exploring these ideas, right? It opens up this whole realm of possibility, this sense of wonder and enchantment that can really enrich our lives in countless ways.
Yeah.
Even if we never become like master magicians, we can still learn to see the world with new eyes, appreciating the hidden connections, the subtle synchronicities that often go unnoticed.
Well said. I think we've just about reached the end of our deep dive into the Complete Magician's Tables.
Yeah.
But before we go, I have one final thought I want to leave with our listener.
Okay, I'm all ears.
What if we could truly unlock the secrets of the universe by understanding this language of symbols and correspondences?
Right.
Could this book be a key to unlocking that deeper understanding?
It might be.
I encourage you to explore this book further and see what connections you can discover for yourself.
Yeah.
We might even do future deep dives into specific topics covered in the book.
That's a great idea.
Depending on your interest. But until then, keep seeking, keep questioning,
and
keep diving deep into the mysteries of the universe.
Absolutely.